In the year 2000, leaders from 189 countries agreed on a vision for the new millennium. They wanted to end extreme poverty in all of its forms. So they made a list of 8 goals, called the Millennium Development Goals, and they wanted to achieve these goals in 15 years. One of the leading organizations working to fulfill these goals has been the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP. We're present in more than 170 countries and territories. We championed the goals so that people everywhere would know what they were and how people could do their part. We funded projects that helped fulfill the goals. We helped countries accelerate NDG progress by breaking down the silos and working across sectors. We acted as scorekeeper, helping countries to track progress. As a result, the number of people that live on less than $1.25 per day has dropped by more than half. The number of primary school-age kids who don't go to school, down by almost half. The number of people getting life-saving treatment for HIV increased by over 15 times. Child mortality, down by almost half. As much progress as we have made together, there's still a lot more to do. Over 800 million people are still living on less than $1.25 a day. 1 in 9 people on our planet goes to sleep hungry each night. Deforestation remains alarmingly high in many countries. Oceans are becoming more acidic, threatening food security and marine ecosystems. And about 1 of every 6 adults in the world is illiterate. 2/3 of them are women. We think those are tough numbers, and so do leaders from the countries where we work. So in September 2015, they agreed on a new set of goals to help finish the work we all started in 2000. The new goals are called the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. We have made significant progress in the last 15 years, and we think there's plenty of room for hope, for action, in the next 15 years. Today, the world is more connected by technology. We know more about how to balance the 3 pillars of sustainable development: social progress, economic growth, and environmental protection. However, our climate is changing. Our planet is transforming, and there are more people on Earth than ever before. We at UNDP believe everyone can have enough of what they need living within our planetary boundaries, and we are working around the world to make this happen. Our goals to reach by 2030 are to eradicate extreme poverty, protect our environment, and much more. Working with countries to make this a more prosperous, healthy, inclusive, and sustainable world. Join us.
You've probably heard about the triple bottom line, a concept that is used a lot when speaking about sustainability, and particularly sustainability in business. John Elkington, a global authority on corporate responsibility and sustainability, coined the phrase in a book in 1997. His argument was that the methods by which companies measure value should include not only a financial bottom line, profit or loss, but a social and environmental one as well. The concept has evolved into one that's often described as 3 overlapping circles. You've probably seen this image before. Sustainability is typically defined as the place where economy, social realities, and environmental health overlap. The concept of the triple bottom line mainstreamed the idea of sustainability as including people, planet, and profit. It helped business to understand that long-term sustainability of an organization required more than just financial equity. It also helped to clarify that when businesses were considering what sustainability meant for them, it didn't mean they had to give up the notion of financial success. But this overlapping circles image of the triple bottom line can convey a lot more. The circles are all the same size. Does this indicate that the economy is the same relative size or value as the other 2 circles, which deal with society and the environment? Science tells us that left to its own devices, the planet operates in a balanced way. We call this the cycles of nature, and they are powered by energy from the sun. Science also tells us that matter is not created or destroyed, while laws of thermodynamics tell us that everything tends towards dispersal. That's the principle of entropy. Because plant cells are, for all intents and purposes, the only cells that can produce structure from energy, photosynthesis is the process by which matter is structured on our planet. This is why we say that photosynthesis pays the bills. Without it, creation of structure from energy would not occur and entropy could rule the day. So how does this help us understand the triple bottom line? Plant cells belong to the environment circle of the triple bottom line. If plant cells are the original creators of structure, then this is the circle on which everything else depends, or in which everything is embedded. Everything comes from nature at some point. Society, which is related to the social circle of the triple bottom line, exists within the environment. An economy is a byproduct of society. So instead of 3 overlapping circles, we have 3 nested circles, where the economy is a wholly owned subsidiary of the environment.
This is what we need to provide the resources we use and to absorb the waste we produce. 1.5 planets. So that means that it takes about 1.5 years for our planet to regenerate what we use in a year. Our ecological footprint measures how much land and water area we need to produce the resources we use, things like energy, food, land for settlements, timber, seafood, and to absorb the waste we generate. Our biocapacity is the amount of biologically productive area that is available to provide the resources we use and to absorb the waste. So we can compare footprint and biocapacity to see if we are well balanced or not. The United States has a footprint of 8 and a biocapacity of 3.87, so the difference is minus 4.13. So they are a big ecological debtor country. This is actually the case of most developed countries. The Global Footprint Network published the footprint in low, middle, and high-income countries between 1961 and 2008. This is the world's average biocapacity. What do you notice? Yeah, it is systematically decreasing. So basically, the story reads, the wealthier people are, the bigger the footprint. So when we can afford it, it's hard to resist, I guess. And this is also confirmed by the fact that 17% of the world's population consumes 80% of the world's resources. So the main problem is not the absolute lack of resources, it's the fact that our global consumption is extremely uneven and inefficient. So these were footprints for nations, but you can also measure the ecological footprint of an individual, a city, a business, or all of humanity to assess our pressure on the planet. So I calculated my own ecological footprint on the Global Footprint Network website, and it is about 5.5. So why is it significantly less than Canada's footprint of 7? Well, mostly thanks to my lifestyle. I rarely eat meat, I drive very little, I live in a highly energy efficient house, etc. So you can go and calculate your own personal footprint if you like. I included the link in the description below. So the ecological footprint is a really useful way of understanding our relationship to the planet and how the ways in which we live impact our ability to survive and thrive as a race over time.
To achieve sustainability, we need to comply with social and environmental conditions, meet human needs within ecological constraints.